Well, thank you, everybody. My unlimited wisdom family. I love you guys so much, gals, guys, gals, and hi Star, hi Dustin, Fahad, Melody, Deborah, Matthew. Again, I always think, my mind go, Hannah, Ezra, Coach Bob, Sandy, Eric, and Jim. And of course, the hostess with the most is Craig. Thank you very much. I don't know how many of you guys were on yesterday's Daily Wisdom, but man, did that challenge me. Not yesterday, it didn't challenge me. It was like challenge me. Okay, today, you know, it's got to be entertaining. It's got to be fun. It's got to be, enlightening. It's got to be inspiring. So thank you, Lisa Marie. Hi, Scott. So here's the title. Everybody's winging it. Everybody is winging it. And again, I apologize, but I'm not going to apologize. So for some of you that have said that I'm like somebody all I can say to you guys is Robert wants wingy. All right, so Chris
That was
Farley
funny.
out there. um, but here's something that I just want you to hear. And I hope this inspires you and really takes a lot of pressure off you. In fact, I know it is. Good, prayer time, good meditation time today. And here it is. If someone ever tells you, if you reach out to them and they go, I'll use Sandy as an example. If I reached out to Sandy and said, Sandy, please tell me what I need to do. Please tell me what I need to do. And Sandy says, and Sandy's not like this, by the way, but Sandy says, what you need to do is you need to find your purpose. You need to find your passion. What you got to do is you got to find why you're here. Isn't that the question we all ask? What am I here for? And if someone tells you that, they do not know how they became happy and successful. Are you guys hearing me? Because the more that you look at successful people, and if you consider me successful and what I've done, the people that have created stuff really can't tell you how it all came about. So the funny story behind this, hi Shelly, hi Faith, with the funny story behind this is one, how many of you guys got an owner's manual for life? Okay. How many of you got a relationship manual? How many of you got a, how to raise children manual? All right, the boss is here. We got to change subjects. You know what I mean? No, I was thinking like I can't really have a conversation about you if you just show up and jump in the chair. You know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. But what I'm talking about is the title of this is Everyone's Winging It.
Right. That's what I say. Everybody's winging it. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
And so here's where we overthink our overthinking, right? First, we beat ourselves up and we say we don't know what we're doing and we're stupid and we're losers and we're procrastinators. And then what we do is we reach out and ask other people that appear to be having life going on, and we ask them what to do. If you just said that out loud, like I just did, you're like, what? Wait a minute. So no one got an owner's manual. Our parents and our grandparents didn't get an owner's manual. Does anybody ever look back and just go, I don't know how I'm still alive? I sort of look at my life. It's like, how do I know anything? Terry and I watched, a comedian last night, and he was like going, hey, how many of you guys went to public school? And, everyone started laughing. And then he started talking about, stuff that we learned that we really couldn't do even though we learned it.
That we never
So you learn to do something and you get a degree and then you get out and it's like if someone said do algebra, do calculus, you know what I mean? Do, trigonometry. And it's like, if you can even say it correctly, it's like that's grammar, that's enunciation, that's pronunciation. But it's like when you really, really get it, that no one knows what the fuck they're doing.
even the ones that say they do.
Because here's how life even gets more complicated. Some people might have a little bit of mastery in one area of their life. So some people know how to make money and build business, but their kids hate them. You know what I mean? They're on their third marriage, and vice versa. There's some people that when you see the way they are around their family, you just go, you're in awe. But they live in a piece of property that was given to them by their grandparents, and there's 6 mobile homes on it. You know what I mean? I'm not being mean. You know what I mean? But this guy was saying he wanted a patio built on his double wide. And this guy says, you give me $5,000 and I'll build you the perfect patio. The guy gave him $5,000 and he pulled up a fifth wheel flat trailer and parked it in front of his door. And I just thought, hey, this is bigger than the deck you asked for. And I got this trailer that for $2,000 and I just drove it over here and pulled it to the side of your house. It's like, all you need is a set of steps. And the guy said, man, I wish I would have thought of that. You know what I mean? And so when I put that, everyone's pretending they might not, have one area of their life working, but then they got other areas of their life working. Me, I sometimes look at my life, and Terry and I were talking about it this morning of how blessed our lives are. And they're really, really blessed because we're really good at emotionally imagining things. So we're really good at emotionally imagining things. And for that reason, we wish that it would manifest instantaneously, but it does not. It does not. It's the intention of consistently being emotional about your imagination, and you're doing like the strangest secret, where you're thinking about it all day, every day. My wife has mastered daydreaming. That's what it was. Emotional daydreaming.
I would always get in trouble in grade school because I was a daydreamer. Now they call it ADD or some shit, but
Yeah, you and I would be diagnosed with so many letters in the alphabet. It's like me and mom talk to each other, and while we're talking to each other and interrupting each other, we're changing subjects. You guys know anybody that's like that? But if people watch us, they think we're bantering, and all we're doing is communicating. But I say all this to say to each and every one of you that when someone says they got everything going on, they don't have it going on. So me, I've always been the person, and here's when you really can look at yourself as a creation and a miracle in life. Again, no one's like you. No one's got your DNA. There's no one anywhere close to you. So if you don't start defining who you are and what you want in life, and be true to that, So I was telling Terry that, I said, I don't know when you put it in your thought that you needed to find a reliable guy and have a couple of children that would turn into a family and grandchildren, and all you wanted to do is be the best mom and the best wife that you could be, then she nailed it. She should be getting. And so I keep telling her all the time, is people laugh and they'll say to Terry, what do you do? And she goes, I'm doing it. All right. And other people in the past have asked her, you know, what do you do for a living? And she says, if I wanted to do something to make money, I wouldn't have got married. Another thing she said, and again, these can be jokes or no jokes, is Terry says, I married for money. I can learn to love.
Right? No, I say I married for love. If it ever I need to get married again, I'm marrying for money because you can learn to love.
So me and Terry were talking about this. Is that, what is the word for it? Gold digger? You know what I mean? But don't you guys find it very, very interesting that the person does whatever they need to do to get in a place? And if people just think that it's just one side, more females than male, they just are not paying attention. But it's like some people just want to be taken care of. And so what they do is they put themselves in position to run into people that can take care of them. Now, if you live in a city of 300, I'm going to tell you the one thing you need to do is probably move out of that city. Because you got to have, what is it called? You got to have a little more people to pick from, right?
Slim pickings.
Yeah. So
Hey, I met my wife. I met her on Facebook. She lived in North Carolina. So I lived in a city of like, what is 100K? No, let's take Laurel. How many people live in Laurel?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Eric, Terry is the treasurer of Hollis Organization. Matt's the CEO. And I'm the
Go on the website. You have a title.
what is my title?
Senior advisor or something like that. Like you give the best advice.
Yeah, it's
So
like
mom manages the finances. I run the company. Hannah helps
Chief
with the
Visionary
creative.
Officer.
Yeah, there you go.
See, Matt and Terry get a paycheck from Hollis Organization. I don't.
He gets an allowance of $20 a week.
If I do,
We tell
I
him
never
don't spend
say
it all in one
And if he
place.
doesn't- And if he doesn't go anywhere, he doesn't get $20 the next week. You know what I mean? What
I-
do you need money for if he doesn't leave the house?
This is a perfect place to talk about what we're talking about here. Because again, I wanted to make it entertaining. I want to make it fun. I filed for Social Security.
Woohoo!
All right. Now, for me to get Social Security, they asked me if I made any money.
Because we wouldn't want people that need Social Security to make any
And
bit of Social Security that they get.
yeah, and it's no. So guess what's holding my Social Security back? I don't have a personal bank account. Let that all soak in for you guys. Robert Hollis does not have a personal bank account. So all the money that comes from all the things we do goes into the Hollis organization, and then Matt and Terry get dispersed the money. How many people think that's pretty hilarious? But because I don't, that's not my motive. I'm not money motivated. And Matt and Terry are. So if they're constantly imagining money, then it's filling up our account. Me, I just want to inspire people to believe in themselves, believe that they're a miracle, fall in love with themselves, and actually get to a place of hope where they can start going into action of actually creating whatever they want to create. And you guys have heard me say this so many times. It's like each and every day, as crazy as the world is getting, it's still the best day of the rest of our lives. There's more opportunity now than ever. And there's a group of people that are going to miss it. Majority, the census of the world says that the majority of people are going to miss it. But there's some of people that still don't have there's still people I know that don't have a smartphone. Me personally, I know them. They just have a flip phone. And maybe three people got their number. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They don't have internet. They don't have a social media presence. Today, we might say that's a good thing. But there was a time where I made millions of dollars from social media. It was like no one was posting any good stuff out there, and there wasn't a million AI robots. So, when I posted something, it really rang up and got a lot of people involved. But I need to go back to the core principle. When you can admit that everyone is winging it, then that allows you to do something. Wing it. Terry and I watch this stuff. I love watching TV with her, and we're watching Hack.
Hacks.
With an S.
Yeah.
More than one. Okay, cool. And so, holy Shelly, your Social Security is more than mine. She says you're not missing a lot. Hey, it's half of an Escalade payment.
It ain't nothing. You paid into it your whole life, so.
Yeah. And so the point that I want to talk about is she's to a place, and people keep asking her how she was able to do everything she did. And I thought it was pretty neat that it sort of did a deal, not giving anything away, but she used to had one of the biggest sitcoms, and her husband, I just now thought about who they played that off of.
Probably Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball, no doubt. Lucille Ball and her husband, Ricardo?
Desi Arnaz.
Desi Arnaz, yeah.
What was his name in the sitcom?
Desi Arnaz.
No.
Ricky Ricardo.
Ricky.
Yeah,
Ricky,
it was Ricky Ricardo
Ricky.
in the sitcom, but
Okay,
Desi
cool.
Arnaz.
So that's the life that they showed that she had that made her go through all this stuff, and she was a stand-up comedian and blah, 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 blah. And she just said that, doors keep shutting for me, so I don't have any choice but to take another risk. Is that frickin' strong? Doors keep closing for me, so it forces me to take another risk. Another one. And so what people keep doing is they're programmed, because we get this from school. And it's like, what happens if you have the wrong answers? You're fucking humiliated. That's what. You're humiliated and bullied because you don't have the right answers. So what does this teach us in school? It teaches us not to try. And we don't believe that we have the answers, so we consistently ask other people that are winging it for answers. What if you guys, for the rest of your life, counting from now till moving forward, including me, that you could just say, they're just winging it. They're just winging it. They're just winging it. Here's another one. They can't teach you what they did. Everyone reaches out to people and say, hey, can you teach me how to do this? Can you teach me how to do this? You've been so successful. The problem is you're not them. So if they tried to teach you what they were doing, you would go, I am not doing that. I don't like that. I don't get any joy out of that. This is not fun. So we go out of our way to learn from people that are winging it. They sell us what they tell us, coaching, life coaching, books, courses, whatever. And then when we buy it because we want to do better, we just don't use it. And that's just like exercise equipment. How many percent, I never ever, hey, you can do this for me, Craig, and AI. What percent of people in the world are in shape? Because not having the right nutrition and being like a skeleton, whether you're starving or you do it to yourself on purpose by stabbing yourself with a needle, that's not in shape, But there's so many people out there that want to tell you what you need in your body for nutrition. and everyone knows how to work out better than the other person. Do you know that they're winging it? They're just winging it. And how we know that they're winging it? Because people that get around it, how many of us get bored? Do any of you get bored? You know, so why all of a sudden does Friends stop doing episodes? Why does Seinfeld stop doing episodes? You know, it's like, it's unique because something will come out, and then when it comes out, everyone just milks it. So it's like vampire movies. How many of you remember that you couldn't go anywhere on TV and it was another vampire movie? And then someone threw some dragons in there. And so now every movie's got to have dragons. You know what I'm talking about? And I feel they've done that with superheroes. Because people are like, forget it, right? But my point is we get bored as human beings. And so what we do is we know we need to get in shape. So what we do is we buy the new exercise gig. And because it never, ever was the time that we took to ask ourselves, what would we be willing to do that would give us fun, give us joy, make us unique and different? Because we never ask ourselves, then what we do is we buy something that we don't use, and now we got another exercise equipment. We got another, total gym. We got another Bowflex.
Rowing machine.
Another rowing machine. You know, it's like, it's hilarious who we are as people. Thanks for getting on, Michael. God, I see these things just moving around, but maybe they're just moving around. They're not doing anything. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So, you know, if we're constantly Googling for what's the next thing that we need to do, what if everyone's just winging it, and all the differences between people that are happy, fulfilled, successful, have money? What if the only difference between them and other people is their willingness to try that, and I didn't like it. I'll try this and it didn't work. I'll try that. That's not for me. I'll try this for a little while. And then all of a sudden when you try it, you step into it a little bit, then something magical happens. But then what happens to magic? It disappears. And now you got to take a risk and you got to find something else. So I just hope that you have any to add on to it. But how many people like that concept? There's two that I have that a lot of people don't like. And one is when I'm really in the face of somebody that has an ego, edging God out, I do use these words. It's not nice words. And it's like, listen, you fucking don't know. You don't know. You're following programming and voices and rhetoric of people that you follow. You haven't had an original idea in your fucking life.
Whoa.
And if you can prove me wrong, prove me wrong. Come up with an idea that I can't Google or AI. Because even if it was a good idea, then that means someone else is making millions off it right now and having a lifestyle that you only dreamed about. So all of these people that are just right now, as the world seems to be getting louder, right? And everyone's got their opinions. Just know that people don't know and they're winging it. Has any one of you other than me had this thought where in a blink of an eye, I remember when all the experts that were online that were not on news shows, but opinion shows because they had a number of followings on their blog. Do you guys remember this? Well, today we got expert Craig Jackman. And if you guys don't know him, that's okay, because he's got 15 million people subscribed to his blog. okay, this guy's got legitimacy. Why are 15 million people following him? Now I would say that answer is because Craig took a risk. All the best bloggers and the best YouTubers and the best TikTok people are people that are like, hey, I'm going to wing this. I'm going to do a bunch of videos of me showing people how gullible my husband is. Here, Coach Bob, put a can on your head, and what I'm going to try to do is whip it off with this belt. And his wife Bev gets him in the side of the head, and he's like cussing, and it's like, okay, that's another couple of million views. You know what I mean? So we got the people that are just constantly risking, and they're trying to find the thing that's making them and giving them love. And they express. You know who's the winners? The winners are the people that know they're winners. That's it. I always tell this story because it emotionally messed me up. So I'm brand new in network marketing, and they had these funny phrases. You know who you're supposed to talk to? You put a mirror under their nose, and if it fogs up, you need to talk to them. It just basically meant if you slide a mirror under their nose and they're breathing and it fogs it up, they're alive. And then there was a thing, and you guys can search this. I'd never heard it for years, but it was called the 3-foot rule. And the 3-foot rule was if you could slap them, you need to talk to them. All right. So, wow, this is great sorting tools. Don't you guys, aren't you happy that you're in this day and age? So, yeah. And so no one came to my house, so it forced me to go out. Right. And what are my beliefs? My beliefs are that everyone needs this opportunity. Everyone needs a way. And the reason that they need this opportunity, whatever opportunity I'm in, I said that to Mauricio. Mauricio asked me in Bogota, Colombia, he goes, if someone asks you why Immunotech is the best company to work for, what would you say? And I said, because I'm in it. So everything that I'm in, you need to get in. And if I drop some things and get in others, it's because I'm willing to take risks. You guys hear me? It's like I don't have to overthink about overthinking stuff. Chris Robinson got the rights to FFX from Josh. He wants to market it. He reached out to me and said, do you know people that are asking for FFX? I said, I do. He goes, I need to build a website and get this on Shopify. I go, I'll connect you with Matt. Matt gets it all put together. Now we're all marketing it. And there's going to be a large group of people that go, now are we focused on FFX? I don't know if there's really a focus on anything.
Yeah.
Other than happiness, fulfillment, working smarter instead of harder. Does that make sense to you guys? It's like, and what if all of a sudden something happens where an orange guy finds a way of how to be able to control all oil? And in a blink of an eye, oil's so cheap that people don't need an additive. Yeah, because that's happened many times. So I keep telling you guys a story about you don't know that you don't know. And I'll leave you with this story because this happened to me and this made me understand that I didn't know, right? So it was not only the conversation I had with Roger Penske, but it was with my Uncle Sid. So I'm in North Dakota working on my race car. And my uncle from Humboldt, Texas, comes up to me and he goes, man, where do you get the money to buy all that race car parts? I said, I work with Daryl. And he's going, oh, your cousin. I said, yeah. So you guys are in the oil field. You're doing, saltwater disposal. You're doing pit liners. You're doing all this stuff that has to do with the oil field. And I said, yeah. And he goes, what if I told you that in the next year, all the business that you see in the oil field right now is going to be gone? I was like, what? My uncle invented something called slant drilling. My uncle invented that you put a pipe here and you go down and you get oil. Well, you don't have to move the rig. You just pull all the pipe up and you bend it at an angle. And then you can go down at an angle and hit an oil pipe. I mean, oil reserve in the ground a mile away. And then you can pull up the pipe and tip it this way and go down. My uncle invented that kind of drilling. And he got hired by Dresser Atlas. My uncle has no high school education. And he got involved in the oil field, in the Bakken oil field, which if you Google it, it's one of the largest oil fields in the world. If you put in Bakken oil field, you're going to go, holy crap. I grew up there in the middle of that stuff. So my uncle says to me, you're really good with your hands. How many of you guys heard this part of the story? He said, you should be a mechanic. And I said, wow, I never thought about that. And he says, I'm going to tell you a trick. He says, go to a trade school. Because you already know how to be an auto mechanic, it'll be a slam dunk. It'll be the easiest stuff you've ever done. But then you're going to get a piece of paper that says that you're an automotive technician. And he says, I guarantee you, you'll make more money than all your friends combined over a length of time. So I took his word. I went to North Dakota State School of Science. I graduated as an automotive engineer, and I got 71 job offers when I graduated. I moved out to California, and when I moved out to California, this was 1980, 1981, and that's when the gas prices were the highest because we ran out of gasoline. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? This is 1980. How many years ago was that?
A long time. 40-some years.
Listen to me. We ran out of oil. There's no oil anywhere. So people are in line in California trying to get gasoline, and they're in riots. They're having fist fights of who's cutting in line. And they would run out of gasoline at gas stations. I live in Williston, North Dakota, and I got a lot of friends that have farm and ranch land. And they're financially done, D-O-N-E, poke a fork in them. Because people would come out to them and ask for mineral rights to their land to drill oil. And they would find oil. And some of my friends that I grew up with have 30, 40 pumping rigs on their property.
Cha-ching.
All right. And one day, all of a sudden, these cars and pickups started coming out to the pumping rigs, like you see in Landman. And they were clicking them off, shutting the electricity off on them, shutting the natural gas on them, stopping them from pulling up oil. Are any of you following where I'm going right now? It was all bullshit. I don't know politically what was going on at that time, but a bunch of people that are in a higher pay level than me all made a decision that it was somebody else's fault We were running out of oil. The gas prices went up. There was riots. Everyone was upset. Everyone was pissed. And it was totally made up bullshit. And my uncle told me it was going to happen. Well, how many people know that? I don't know how we figured this out. Brand new buildings had plywood on the wall, on the windows. Brand new buildings. And all these major companies pulled out of North Dakota. And all of a sudden, we're out of oil. Everybody's crying. And that's one day back.
Years later, like what?
Well, does anybody know why it came back? Some of you are really, really good at this political stuff. I just want to know from my friends, Doug Stranglin, who still lives in Williston, North Dakota, that all of a sudden people drove out to those pumping rigs and they turned them back on. So if you look at the amount of Craig is doing AI, if you put in how many barrels of oil does the Bakken field produce? And even if you ask for the top 5, it's in the top 5 for the United States. It's probably in the top 10 for the world. But me at 18, 19, 20 years old had an uncle that worked at one of the largest companies in the world that had to do with oil. And he just tells me, hey, I just need you to know they're going to stop producing oil for a while. How did my uncle know that? Because you work for one of the top 3 oil producing, the companies that put the rigs in, the companies that put the piping in, the people that actually put the pumping units in. My uncle worked for one of the companies that Landman worked for. And so all of a sudden when it disappeared, all my family members, at one time, there was an extra 20,000 people that lived in the Bakken field oil field. But now they have to all leave because there's no money there and there's no jobs.
1.2 to 1.3 million barrels of oil per day.
So when everyone's winging it, and you got a bunch of experts out there that are telling you what's going on with energy.
Repeat that again, Robert. You were muffled, please.
All right. So if you're listening to any experts out there that know what's happening with oil and energy, I'm telling you, I don't know. And the only difference between you and I is I'm willing to admit that I don't know what's going on. Does that make sense? So the whole story is everyone's winging it. Do yourself a huge personal favor and stop listening and following other people that are winging it. I love community. But you need to start saying, listen, if it's to be, it's up to me. I got to build a relationship with a person that I can love and trust. I got to take some risks. I have the availability of doing anything that I want to do. And I need to find something I'm willing to do. You guys seen me change this a couple of months ago, or maybe it's more than that. It's like, what you need to be doing every day is something that you want to do. And I think you need to figure that out. Because if you're not willing to do something, and I watched a video, I'm not going to share this with you guys today, maybe on Friday, but I watched a video and this guy says, when you find the thing that you love to do you immediately know that you're doing it more than anybody else on the fucking planet? Think about that. When you really find the thing that you want to do every day, you know how many few people are doing that? So just let it click in a little bit. It's like if you want to skip rocks or get the best at stacking plastic cups. Are there other people doing it? Yeah. But if you love to do it and you have fun doing it and you're doing it more than everyone every day, everyone know who you are. That's the guy that skips rocks. That's the guy that stacks plastic cups. They might not know your name, but we really live in a beautiful time right now where you should be okay with knowing that everyone's winging it. No one has the answers, and you got to get comfortable at winging it. Matt, you got anything to add?
Nope, just been winging it.
Woo! Yeah.
See, why everything is clicking for Matt right now is instead of teaching other people how to do it when it wasn't their thing, Matt started winging it more, and now he's getting financially rewarded for it. What a concept. Because if you ask Matt really what he wanted to do every day, it'd be I'd like to be hanging out with Hannah and Ezra and my mom.
You're in there too, Dad.
I'll get there one day. I'm still working to get in there, but no, total. I'm just joking, but yeah, I love you guys. So everyone's winging it, and what I'll say right behind that is when you realize and come to comfort about everyone's just winging it and doing their best, and sometimes they're not doing their best. That should be some incredible, great news for you. Because me and Craig were talking today, and I'll leave you guys with this. The only way that you can sabotage yourself is when you start looking at what other people are doing. The comparitis. So, the guy that skips rocks, if you could do an interview with him and you go, hey, listen, are you aware of anyone else that skips rocks in the area? Nope. I just find funny. I just find that funny. Craig told me that he was a bird watcher, years ago and even months ago to you guys. And I was watching something, I think on Sunday morning, and they go, well, this guy is a professional bird watcher, and they found some place in Chile or something that had more species of birds than anywhere on the planet. And the majority of the birds that are there are not anywhere else. And the reason why is just like the biggest cave in the world now. It's like we find these things and they've always been here. So now they're discovering all these new species of birds. And then the guy goes, how long have you been, dealing with birds? And he goes, I can't remember back how far. I've always loved birds. And now the guy's got a full-time job he looked like he was in his 70s. And I'm going, this guy found out a way for people to pay him to watch birds. Are you guys hearing me?
Right, bird watching is fun.
So he can't remember. He can't remember when he started watching birds, and he's still doing it. And I can guarantee you he wasn't pointing out birds for the guy on Sunday morning doing journalists. I can guarantee you he wasn't pointing out those birds for free. I'm done. That is it. And if you went to him, found his name, looked him up, and called him up and said, how do you make a full-time income watching birds? He couldn't tell you. He couldn't tell you. He can give you some pointers, but if that's not your calling, then you're not going to be successful at it. That path was laid for him. He made it happen. He got emotional about daydreaming. And he fell in love, and he doesn't have an owner's manual to that. So just wing it. Just wing it. I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. See you later. Michael, Angela, Shelly, Faith, Scott, Lisa Marie, Star, Fahad, Melody, Deborah Grady, Dustin, Matthew, Hannah, and Ezra. There's Michael and Angela. So there's another Michael. Hi. Eric, Coach Bob, Sandy, Jim, and CJ, the hostess and mostess, and my lovely wife, Terry. Good day.